He married her for one reason: to save his family from ruin. She knew the marriage was nothing more than a business arrangement, and she promised herself she would never fall in love with him. But 6 months into the marriage, something began to change. The billionaire who once treated her like a stranger started looking at her differently. Then, one night, she overheard him talking to his mother. "I didn't marry her because I loved her." Her heart broke, but then he said something that completely changed the meaning of those words. "I married her because I was afraid that if I didn't, I would lose her forever." And that was when she realized the man she thought had never loved her had been hiding the truth all along. Sophia Bennett had never imagined that she would become the wife of one of the wealthiest men in the country. She wasn't born into money, she wasn't famous, and she certainly wasn't looking for a billionaire husband. She was simply trying to save her father's small business from collapsing. Then Adrian Blackwood walked into her life. Adrian was a billionaire, known for being cold, private, and almost impossible to read. His family owned one of the largest business empires in the country, but behind the expensive cars, luxurious mansions, and powerful family name, Adrian was facing a problem that even his billions couldn't easily solve. His grandfather had left one condition in his will: if Adrian wanted to inherit control of the family company, he had to be married. Adrian hated the idea. Marriage was the last thing he wanted. But when his family's biggest competitor began making moves to take control of the company, Adrian realized he had very little time. Then he remembered Sophia. They had met months earlier at a charity event. She had been different from everyone else in the room. While other women tried to get his attention, Sophia didn't seem interested in his money or his status. She had spoken to him like he was just an ordinary man, and Adrian had never forgotten her. So he made her an unusual offer: a marriage contract, 1 year, no love, no expectations, and when the year was over, they would go their separate ways. Sophia accepted because she desperately needed the money to save her father's business. But before they got married, Adrian looked directly into her eyes. "Don't fall in love with me," Sophia gave him a small smile. "Don't worry, I won't." Neither of them knew how wrong they were. At first, their marriage was exactly what they had agreed to. They lived under the same roof, but they barely spoke. Adrian left early every morning and returned late at night. Sophia stopped expecting anything from him. She reminded herself every day that this was only a contract. But slowly, something began to change. Adrian started noticing the little things about her. The way Sophia always left a cup of coffee on his desk before he went to work. The way she remembered his mother's birthday. The way she defended him whenever people criticized him behind his back. And most importantly, the way she never asked him for anything. One evening, Sophia became seriously ill. Adrian was supposed to attend an important business dinner. But when he heard that Sophia had collapsed, he canceled everything. He rushed home. He stayed beside her bed throughout the night. When Sophia finally opened her eyes the next morning, she found Adrian sleeping in a chair beside her. She stared at him quietly. For the first time, she wondered if there was something hidden behind his cold expression. Maybe Adrian wasn't as heartless as everyone believed. Maybe he actually cared about her. But just when Sophia began allowing herself to hope, someone from Adrian's past returned. Her name was Victoria. She was beautiful, wealthy, confident, and she had once been Adrian's first love. Everyone knew about their history, and Victoria made sure Sophia knew about it too. One afternoon, Victoria approached Sophia privately. "You know this marriage won't last forever, don't you?" Sophia didn't answer. Victoria smiled. "Adrian and I were supposed to be together before you came into the picture." Those words stayed in Sophia's mind. That evening, Adrian came home and immediately noticed that something was wrong. He asked her what had happened. Sophia looked at him. Then she finally asked the question that had been haunting her. "When our contract ends, will you go back to her?" Adrian froze. He didn't answer. And somehow, his silence hurt more than any answer could have. Sophia lowered her eyes. She decided she would stop hoping. She would finish the contract, leave the mansion, and return to her old life. But then, everything changed. Adrian's company suddenly came under attack. Millions of dollars disappeared from several company accounts. Someone inside the business was secretly working against him. Adrian became suspicious of everyone around him. His closest executives denied knowing anything. His business partners blamed one another. The entire company was falling into chaos. Then Sophia noticed something everyone else had missed. She was looking through several financial documents when she discovered a strange connection between the missing money and one of Adrian's closest executives. She immediately went to Adrian. "Adrian, I think I know who's behind this." He looked at her seriously. She showed him the documents. Adrian investigated. And Sophia was right. Someone he trusted had been secretly stealing from the company and working with his biggest competitor. The betrayal nearly destroyed Adrian's family empire, but Sophia had helped save it. After everything was finally under control, Adrian looked at his wife differently. She wasn't just the woman he had married because of a contract. She was the woman who had stood beside him when almost everyone else was looking for a way to take advantage of him. And Adrian finally understood something. He was in love with her. But there was one problem. Their one-year marriage contract was almost over. Sophia had already made up her mind. She was leaving. On the final day of their contract, Sophia quietly packed her belongings. She looked around the mansion one last time. Then she removed her wedding ring. She placed it on the table beside a short letter. "Thank you for the year. I hope you find the happiness you deserve." Then she walked out. When Adrian returned home, he found the letter. He read it once. Then he read it again. For the first time in his life, the billionaire who seemed to have everything felt completely powerless. He looked at the wedding ring on the table. Then he ran outside. "Sophia!" She stopped. Adrian hurried toward her. For several seconds he couldn't speak. Then he finally said, "You misunderstood me." Sophia turned around. "What did I misunderstand?" Adrian took a deep breath. "I didn't marry you because I didn't love you." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "Then why did you marry me?" Adrian looked directly into her eyes. "Because I was already falling in love with you, and I was terrified of admitting it." Sophia stood there in disbelief. Adrian continued, "That contract was supposed to protect me from losing control of my life." He stepped closer. "But somewhere along the way, you became the only person I couldn't imagine losing." Sophia wiped away her tears. Then she asked the question that had been hurting her for months. "And Victoria?" Adrian smiled. "She was my past." He reached for Sophia's hand. "You're my future." Sophia looked at him for a long moment. Then she smiled through her tears. The woman who had entered the marriage believing she would never be loved had finally discovered the truth. Sometimes, the person who seems the most distant is the one hiding the deepest feelings. And sometimes, a marriage that begins as a contract can become the greatest love story of all. If you were Sophia, would you forgive Adrian and give him another chance? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe to The Shadowed Heart, and turn on notifications. Because there is always another secret waiting behind the heart.